I feel like everyone and their dog has made a video about the new dolls coming out, but I love Disney, so let's talk about the new Disney x American Girl collab. So as you may already know, a couple days ago, American Girl released another line of Disney American Girl dolls. This time they had Ariel, Cinderella, and Tiana. So let's just first go over what they look like, and then we'll talk about comparison and what I hope to see in the future. Now, Ariel is my favorite Disney princess of all time, and the release of her doll has so many conflicting feelings to me. I like the doll, and I feel like the Nenea mold and the American Girl new eyebrows that they have on these dolls are probably one of those things that look better in person, somewhat like Claudie and the McKenna mold. I feel like those dolls look better in person as well, and I'm assuming that's the same thing with Ariel. But at the same time, she doesn't look like Ariel to me. And I'm assuming these dolls are supposed to be the characters, not inspired by like the ILY dolls or the Disney Illy dolls, whatever you want to call it. Other than that, I love this doll. A lot of people were confused about the costume, seeing that it isn't the most accurate to Ariel, but if you look at a lot of traditional Disney Ariel costumes, they all look very similar to this when they're marketing them to young girls. So I think they did a fabulous job with this. Along with that, the necklace and these shoes have just the cutest details, and I love her hair. It is just the most beautiful color of red, and they got the style down perfectly. Now, before we move on to Tiana, I did just quickly want to add what I thought Ariel was going to look like, which is this custom here, or this Truly Me. I thought that they would either go with a more realistic, quote unquote, look for her, or they would go with a classic mold, seeing as usually when they do collector dolls, they do use classic molds, or they have in the past. So I'm surprised that they didn't go classic or Josefina, and they actually went with Nenea. But that's just what I thought she was going to look like, and I love how she turned out. And this is Miss Tiana. She is the least favorite of the three for me, and that is one reason: the face mold. I really think it should have been a Sonali. Sonali to me is the most accurate to Tiana, and I just feel like this Claudie mold, although a beautiful mold, doesn't really look like Tiana to me. And other than that, I don't have any complaints. They did a fabulous job on the costuming, on the crown, and her dress, and I love the hair, and I think she is gorgeous. And similarly, I think they did an amazing job on Tiana's outfits. Once again, she just looks like Claudie. This does look very similar to a Claudie outfit, and I'm not sure if it's worth $50, but the little beignets are so cute, and I do love this outfit. And her last dress is her blue dress, which to me is the least exciting of all of Tiana's outfits. I don't have much to say about it other than that it does look very movie accurate, although I do feel like you'd have to put a crinoline under it for it to look voluminous. And lastly is Cinderella. Now this is a photo from the site, and she doesn't have any lip paint on, but in the close-up she does, so if she looks weird in this one photo, it's because of that. Cinderella is another one of my favorite Disney princesses, and I'm so glad that they included her in this release. I do wish that they had Snow White, but Cinderella's good too. They did an amazing job with her. Of course, Cinderella is very easy to nail. I do think they should have used classic mold. I know a lot of people kind of hate on American Girl for using the classic mold so much, but when it comes to Cinderella, she does just have that classic mold face. I feel like her and Snow White and, a couple of the Disney princesses do just fit that face mold, and that's what they should have used. Not to say that this doll isn't beautiful, I do love what they did, but I think she should have had the classic mold. Lastly, I just want to say that these dolls are $125, which we'll get into later, but compared to the Wicked costume, which costs $50 and is very similar to Cinderella's dress, oh my god, they did so much better on Cinderella than they did on Wicked. Now, one of the most loved new outfits is Cinderella's work dress, me included. I love this dress, and I would get it if it wasn't $50, which is more like $80 Canadian. But look at the little detailings. I think they did a beautiful job on this. It's very movie accurate, and I do love how she looks with her hair down. The last dress is Cinderella's mother's dress. Now, this does make sense. One, Cinderella doesn't have a lot of outfits to choose from, and two, this does have a lot of lore significance to the movies. But if you ask me, I don't like it. And don't get me wrong, I do love this dress. I just feel like this rendition of it does not do it justice. I mean, it is a beautiful dress, they did a good job, it just doesn't feel like the movie's dress to me. And I think instead they should have done either her wedding dress or maybe one from the live action Cinderella. I mean, you could charge like $150 for the live action Cinderella dress and everyone would pay that. That dress is gorgeous. Okay, I saved Ariel's dresses for last because as an Ariel lover, I have many thoughts. First of all, I'm glad that they noticed that the sleeves are a sort of transparent, flowy material. I love how they did the bodice, that it has the embroidered details on it, and the long blue skirt, which they added a couple more details to. Flounder! Why did they add flounder? I feel like we could have had some better accessory. I don't know what, and I get why they added flounder, but flounder as a stuffed animal just looks so weird. When they do American Girl pets, usually they turn out really good, and I wish that with Flounder they put in a little more effort. He just looks like a cheap stuffed animal, so that is my main complaint with this outfit. Once again, I would buy it, but it's very expensive. I want to give props to American Girl for doing her pink dress. A lot of times Disney does not market Ariel in her pink dress because I feel like they find it clashes with her hair or something. Usually we see her in that teal, greeny blue dress that I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And I'm glad that they didn't do that because one, that dress is not in the movies, never, it's just made up. And two, I personally love the pink dress. One of my favorite scenes is the dinner where she blows the pipe and it gets all over the guy's face. I love that, and I'm so glad that they did this, and I think they did a beautiful job. The only thing is when you use a satin-like material like they did here, it does often come off as cheap. And although that this is the material they should have used anyway, it does just look a bit cheap, although I do think this dress is definitely worth the $50. And Sebastian! They should have put him on the plate. If you've seen the movie, you know that they have him on like a platter and they open it and it's Sebastian and oh my god, they're getting Sebastian, blah blah blah. I think they should have done that. That would have been funny, but I do think that the just plain Sebastian is great as well. So now that we've taken a look at the dolls and I've said my opinions, I do want to talk about the price. These are 125 American dollars compared to the other dolls, which were around $300. This is a big price difference, and it is a great step in the right direction for a couple of reasons. One, the reason that I really didn't like the other doll release is because I didn't think they were worth that. Swarovski crystals, they just look like plastic to me. I don't know why people love them so much. That's just a pet peeve of mine. But I don't think those dolls were worth so much, and it also meant that a lot of people, one, couldn't afford them, or two, like me, live somewhere like Canada, which it would be very expensive, or you just couldn't get them shipped there. You could not get them shipped here. And I do think that this lower price is great, and the dolls are beautiful quality. Like the Doll Studio by Chris pointed out, these are only $10 more than the Truly Me's, which if you look at it that way, you get way more with these dolls. Now you don't get a certificate of authenticity or anything like a book, but I do think that still makes them worth the price, especially compared to the last line of American Girl dolls that we got, which were Disney. Next, American Girl has confirmed that these are not limited edition this time and is a part of a new core line, and that we will see more of them, including Frozen dolls, which I'm not the biggest fan of Frozen, but I am definitely excited to see what new dolls they're going to come out with. So let's see what dolls I would like to see. I would love to see an Aurora doll. She is one of my favorite princesses, and I do think that they should have the core three princesses being the original three to me: Snow White, Cinderella, and Aurora. And I do think an Aurora doll would transfer to doll form very nicely. And they could do the pink dress or the blue dress, or something like what Disney World does with the costume, where the material can flip-flop between blue and pink. Next is Miss Snow White. I think she would be a beautiful doll because she would be different. She could have a short bob cut, and I do think she should have the classic mold, which would be new for the Disney Princess line without it being Swarovski. Once again, you could also do her work dress, her normal dress, and I don't know what the third outfit would be, but you could definitely make something up. They always do that. A wedding dress or something would be very pretty. And the last doll I really want to see is Miss Moana. I feel like you could use the Nenea mold for her, even though Nenea has a bit of a smaller nose than Moana. She would be a very fun doll. She could have the Yvette wig, which would work perfectly, and she could have her normal outfit, and then you could do a couple, instead of outfits from the movies, seeing how she only wears one outfit really, you could do more traditional Polynesian outfits, which would help teach kids about Polynesian culture, and just, you know, you could have fun outfits too. So, will these take the place of the ILY dolls? I don't know. That is the short answer. I don't think we're going to be seeing from American Girl any sort of inspired or Disney bounding outfits, because that is what ILY sticks to, and I don't think we're going to see any ILY dolls that are like traditional princesses or straight up characters. I think they're going to stay in their own two bubbles, but we might see ILY die out over time because American Girl is a more loved and known brand, so people will probably tend to buy that more. But if you do want a cheaper option, the ILY dolls do have a lot of nice Disney outfits for a lot cheaper. Another thing was the My Disney dolls in the 2000s. We have seen American Girl try this before. No, we have not. Oh my god, Disney. We've seen Disney try this before with the My Disney dolls, and at some of the restaurants you could pick up an Aurora doll, which was straight up Aurora. These didn't last long. They lasted until like 2010. Will these new American Girls last? Seeing as the last line of them sold out like almost immediately, I'm sure these are going to stick around for a long time. So those are my rapid fire thoughts and opinions on these dolls. I have made a couple other Disney related doll videos if you want to check those out, seeing as people are now more excited about Disney American Girl. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I would love to hear your thoughts about these dolls in the comments below. Goodbye!